Good afternoon. Good to have you guys. We are ready to start. We have quite a bit to cover, but as you know, this is directed by you. It can be 2 minutes, it can be 5 minutes, it can be the whole 2, 3, 4 hours. Great. I'm glad you made time, and I know you have busy schedule. I do appreciate your effort. Let's begin. I will start with Pilate, how it has been, which areas you're struggling with. And I'm gonna accept more people, but if you do see people also, just maybe tap on the chat box if I'm maybe busy writing. Hi Pilate, how are you?
Fine, and how are you, Precious?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm okay.
What can you share? What have you learned? What are you working on? What worked? What didn't work?
Eish, there are so many things, Precious, you know, at times being a director of a company, an owner, a shareholder, and a worker, it's very difficult.
You thought this was an easy job.
Yeah, it's very difficult, you know, because you have to do this and that. You see. Right. So the problem that I find, especially on my side, as you said earlier on, that what is your core business? Right. I find myself doing a lot of things. Right. Some which are minor, but just because there's that little penny, then you find that you take the job. So when I started this business, actually it was mainly to do training in customs clearing and export forwarding, because that is half of my career. I've been in that field. So I had a lot of experience in that. So I wanted to do that, but then it didn't work well. I find that the market was very small. Then I changed to consulting, and the consulting again, you find that it's very wide. So I find myself, and I can say for right now, the main business is on tax consultants, because it's something that I've done. I've got a taxation degree, also have an economics degree, which is separate, a project management diploma, a marketing diploma. So I went into tax consultancy, which I can say for now is the one that is bringing some income, more income, right? And then the other part is also, I am accredited by the NYDA to do mentorship on youth and also help with their business plans. So that one also brings the second stream of income. But at times I find myself again doing some training, because we've got an accreditation with CETA. Right now, I think I should be going to Durban for training. I'm supposed to be going to Northwest again for training. And in Limpopo, I'm supposed to be starting, well, that one is assessment. So there are so many things that I find myself doing. Right? And then I ask myself, as you have said, that right, really, what is my core business? So these days I'm trying to eliminate certain things, you know, that these are not my core business. Even if there is those couple of thousands of rand, I say no, I have to focus, you see, because I see that I don't even have time really maybe to do a marketing, you see. And the other thing is that as small businesses, you find yourself that you are working alone, right? I do have an office administrator, but then the other two gentlemen are freelancers, which I will only engage when I've got some work. Right? So, because most of the time I'm doing the operational work, I don't have time to engage with clients, to bring more customers. I find that online, on Facebook, on Instagram, there are some clients that have made the reviews, but I did not get time even to respond to those reviews. You know, yeah. So that is one of the problems that I'm having. But when it comes to financial controls, things like bookkeeping, I do have the systems. I make sure that when it comes to compliance, I'm 100%. And I make sure that my clients, they also do comply, and they also maintain the books, right? And also that makes my job easier at the end of the month when they say I should do the pay as you earn to submit the EMP 201s and also the VAT. It becomes easier if they follow the system that I am saying, well, you should do it this way.
So, okay, I've noted
Yes.
all these issues. I'm going to come back with few questions which I need you to be ready for.
Yes.
Do you know who you are? Maybe
Me as
make a note of the questions I'm asking now so that when I come back to you, you are ready for answers. I need to know if you understand who you are. Number two.
Sorry, me as a person or as a business?
You as a person. And I want to see your video now. Just put your video out. I want to see.
Okay, okay.
Oh, are you hiding behind the video? You're not videoable. Now, I need you to figure that out, and I need you to answer me when I come back. One, who do you think you are? And number two, what's your purpose in life? What do you understand you were meant to do here in this lifetime, right now? And I also need you.
You said number three is what?
Number two, I said the purpose. Number one, who do you think you are? Yeah.
Okay.
And then number three is really about understanding. Since you understand your role as to the purpose, how do you think you should live your life? Reflect on that and make notes. I'll come back to you. Thank you so much for sharing. Boitu, hi. Okay, she is not available now. Let me move to Tuli.
Yes, it's fresh. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. I thought maybe you got distracted. Go ahead. Let's catch up how it has been going, what is working, what is not working. and let's share. Let me see how I can assist. Which areas you went through that you have not figured out things. And I've got your management accounts. I have quite a lot of feedback on that. So are you giving me permission to discuss it? I'm not going to discuss the actual accounts. I'm going to discuss the principle around the accounts.
Yes, no problem.
Great. Okay. Please share.
Sure. What a insightful,
It doesn't have to be
crazy.
inciting. It could be even something that you are feeling right now. What's going on?
No, I'm saying what a crazy, emotional journey that we had started almost 2 months ago.
Yep.
And look, I was already in a space where I was trying to change things. And I think I've mentioned this, it mainly being, getting my hands off the production in the business. And I think about 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, we got a new person in to try and train as well to be able to do the production and all of that. So I have been in the journey to create systems. I got frustrated, and even this past 2 months, it has been frustrating. And I think the most frustration is for me trying to make sure that people do the work without you, and you have some sort of systems that you're doing them by, but it's not the same if you're not doing it. So I also realized my let me be honest. Next discussion, let me just be honest. So I realized that I'm such a perfectionist, it's not even funny, that I have a problem with letting go of certain things, because at the end of the day, I want the products to have a certain look and feel, and sometimes I feel like it's my touch that does that. Yes, the ladies do the technical stuff, and the basic stuff of what is it that they need to do, but I find there's that gap in terms of how do they now transform from technical to making it personal for our clients, because I am offering a personalized service. So that has been my frustration the most, actually. That how do I can't teach that. I don't know. I've tried, but I feel like I can't teach that. Um, so that's been my process so far. But another thing that I've realized in this journey is that I'm costing wrong my products, and I started recosting the products. I'm in a new different market, though I still have my old clients who still come back and buy. Actually, they're the ones, they're the biggest support of the business now. It's my old clients that I've always had. They even follow me here. They come and they get cakes from here. So also in this journey, trying to diversify in terms of now selling day to day, because we were working on orders. So also setting myself up to say, what can I make best in selling day to day, and obviously approaching the Uber Eats market. And then we're busy now with Mr. D as well. And also trying to find out how do I reach out in this market, because that's the one that's going to give me like a base of where I am. So I'm in that process. At the same time, it's been with the premix as well. I've had some clients being very interested, buying a lot of it. So I'm also in that space of how do I launch it successfully, and how do I, because I feel like it's dragging me to be more sales salesperson, selling it more and marketing it more than marketing it more than all the other products that we have. So I find myself in a space whereby I know marketing, sales, it's not my strong point, and that's one of the things that I've learned here. That things that are not your strong point, what are you going to do about it? So I want to enter into a space whereby I'm comfortable to do it. I understand it, even if it's not going to be something that I want to continuously do in the business going forward, but I want to know how to do it. I want to know how to sell. I want to know how to market the business. And if we have such new products, how do I sell them? How do I market them? There's a lot. What else? Yeah, so also this period driving me now to actually even understand the market of where I am, where else can I, enter into spaces that I've never been to. There's universities around me. There's schools. Actually, I didn't even realize that there was a school just around the corner from me. It's a primary school. So me now, having that, release and unveiling my eyes to seeing opportunities where I am has allowed me to see the spaces. There's a lot of restaurants here. There's a lot of coffee shops here that I can approach with the product. So that has been the journey in terms of how do I access the day-to-day market and of these products that I want to now sell on a day-to-day market. And having had the previous coaching sessions, there was so much insight that you gave, Sis Precious. That example of the baking, of the cakery shop was like an eye opener to me to say, there's so many avenues that you can venture into and not close yourself up to whatever, because it's exactly the things that I'm doing. It's just that now, if I'm saying, okay, I want to resell them to other people so that they can sell in their shops. I still have my clients. I'm gaining more clients. How do I then get more so that I can grow the revenue? I mean, like now there is a lady, about two ladies that are bakers. What we do is we just bake sponges for them. So whenever they have cakes, they're not full time because they work. So whenever they need like sponges, cakes, they order from us. And what they do, they just take the sponges, they go and decorate their cakes. So that has been a market as well to say, I can do that here, sell those as well, because it's something that we do daily, we bake cakes. So I've had those people that come and say, can you do sponges for me? I'll come and collect them. Then they just decorate their own cakes. So there's a lot to go into with what we are currently doing without diverting, but getting more customers to buy of what is it that we're doing every day. We bake cakes every day. We bake scones every day. So how do I then resell to other people to gain a bigger market share? Yeah.
Exciting stuff. That is amazing. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. But there's still quite a lot of to be done, but there's been a
Yes.
huge progress. Your business
Yes.
model has totally changed. Your mindset on where the opportunities has changed. Oh, okay. I've got quite a lot to cover then. I will have some few follow-ups. What I needed to relate to come back to is really around, I think you have to go and do a market research
Yes.
to the close by restaurant. And at the beginning, consider not saying anything, just watch and just look. And because that gives you a feel and so on. And then figure out, what do you think based on what they already, what can you add as a value to them, and find out that, then go back and come back with a plan. I also need you to relook at, you see, you've already mentioned you have a primary school, you have university close by. I need you to be asking yourself to tap into that market, still doing the cakes that I'm doing. How can I get that clientele? Because there's definitely clientele. There's always someone who's having a birthday. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but also, I mean, with university, it's really very easy, but I need you to think about that. I also need you to think about, if you're going to be a wholesaler, what are the prices that will make sure you still are profitable? Because even if you're a wholesaler, you need to be profitable. I also think I need you to be asking yourself if the current fixed asset, are they used to the maximum? It feels and sound, you have quite a lot of capacity. So come back to me. When I come back to you, when I have finished taking notes from everyone, please be ready with answers from that. Thank you so much. Sis Tuli.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I almost started with a sigh because that's how I feel like. Are you ready for me?
Yes, I'm definitely ready.
So let me tell you, Precious, where I'm at. You know, all the information and everything that we've just gone through has been good in the sense that I'm always that person who's been avoiding the Excel spreadsheets. So I always try and run away from numbers, but I don't have an option, so I have to go into it. And I think the exercise, the concepts and everything else of just, I still have it in my mind, your positioning of the, your assets, liabilities, and everything else. And now trying to bring that back to what I'm doing and understanding what I've previously asked people to do in setting up, what do you call your financial statements, your AFSs? And me understanding the things that are lost in translation, I think at that point in time, because I didn't understand what goes, for instance, into the balance sheet as assets, especially running a tech company. So those concepts, I think they've been really useful for me to understand. And also one thing that you mentioned recently is also how do you cost the time that you put in? So when I started, it was just a matter of I have savings, this is what I can do, I can build a platform, and then I'll just see how it goes. And continuously, I've just been putting my money and then just paying for whatever that needed to be paid for and not necessarily recording that and looking at it from a perspective of this is the money that is going into the company. So I think the learnings from the past few weeks has been really helpful in positioning it. Where I'm struggling now is in my mind, I know that I need to raise funds. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you, I'm with the Founder Institute and they have a next program is called the Funding Lab, where we now need to build financial models that will then show the projections over the next 5 years and the profitability of that model. Now, to try and do that with no money coming in and yet in anticipation of the funds then that will be raised in the process, I think that is what I'm struggling with, because then it's how to build. So I do have the financial model I think the one that I have is just based on the services and the products at this point in time. But I need to rework those financial models. But it's also just looking at then how do I go fundraising and raising the right amounts? Because there's also that fear of I'm gonna go and fundraise and say I'm asking for amount X, and I might be asking less or asking more than what I need. And doing those calculations and then just getting the right amounts. That is my problem now. And in those projections, I think the most difficult part is also you projecting on anticipated sales. So I'm sort of going, say, for instance, an example for B2B partnerships. I'm projecting going to businesses, which is corporates, as part of the ESD programs. Now, I don't know whether the proposals will be acceptable and whether taking those numbers into the model now will be making sense, or we will then be readjusting and changing those numbers as I start getting the feedback from presenting and getting the engagements going. So I think it's just, you know, those are all the things that I like in my head now, confusing me and then just making things very difficult. So yeah, just to save everyone else's time, that is where my head space is at.
Okay. Okay, that's quite a bit. I will come back to you on few
Okay.
questions, maybe. Get ready for these. So I think, first of all, what I need to establish is how much time you have spent in building this business and
Mhm.
convert that time to be a value. And also, how much money have you spent? Try to see if you can work out a value.
Okay, that's fine. I can estimate.
Yeah,
Correct.
you can then get your accountant to put that into the books.
Sure. Thanks.
Now, the issue around raising the money that you are raising is for developing.
It's mainly for market. Okay, so it is part of it is on cost for the platform, and then part of it is for the resources, human resources, especially because then we need the sales and marketing teams.
Okay, so I need you to think of function. Don't think of it in terms of activity. If I say what the raising of capital is going to be developing the software further, and number 2 is marketing, will that wrap it up?
Correct. And sales, because then there's the business development component to that.
Yeah, but that's still marketing, right?
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So I also need you to think about how much equity are you willing to let go of?
Okay, that's fine. I've got that covered. My space as little as possible.
You broke and you also
It doesn't work that way.
I think you have not been attending the classes. The rule is you rather own a 10% of 100 billion than owning 100% of nothing.
Nothing. No, I get it. That's why I'm saying I'm laughing at myself because it's as little as possible, but I want as much money as possible.
Yeah, so, okay. So if you can just work out those figures. So on the raising of the funds on development, I need you to quantify how much is that. And then on marketing, I need you also to quantify. But I also just want to have a feel on, I'm sure you probably have already done it, the phases of your program, of your software, of your product, the
Correct.
phases of your
We've got that.
product.
We've got that.
Because that the phases will allow you to first interest certain investors, because each investor is interested in different stages of the business. But when you don't know which phase you're at, you will also not be able to define which investor you are looking for.
Okay, I've got that. Yeah, no, the plan is available, but I think what I'm also struggling with, like you're saying, is that from local investors, and if you do have some information that you can share, especially the ones that are focused on female-owned tech companies, because those are the ones that I think will be easy to approach. And not necessarily the ones that are offering grants, because I do have that list, but the ones that are really interested in investing money and in for equity in return, obviously.
So there is quite that I know, but I'm kind of feeling I might not refer you to the right place until I've been given this information that I'm asking for.
Not a problem.
But also to help you to reduce the anxiousness around correct amount and anxiousness around anticipated sales, no guarantees. So yeah, okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Let me move to Crescenda.
Good afternoon.
How are you? I thought, remember we had a session which was just me and you, and I thought she will never come back.
No ways. No ways. No.
So how are you doing?
No, I'm good, and you?
I'm good. So I thought since I was so harsh on you, you will definitely not come back. But I have seen such a resilient lady. You keep on coming back for it and you keep on working on it. So thank you, and kudos to you.
I am very strong woman. Especially when you become hard on me, that's when you make me strong worse. Because I want to have what I want. I know exactly what I want.
So what you want transcend your ego, transcend all of the things that usually stops us in achieving our
Yes.
best self.
Yeah.
I'm with
Yes.
you. I'm with you, my sister. What has been happening, and which areas are you finding difficulty in? Let's talk. We have other four brothers and sisters here that can help.
Oh, okay. The only thing that I think I'm stuck with, like we were speaking last time, me and you, is that I have to make a plan to see how can I raise funds and being able to have a premises, because that's the only thing that I'm stuck with. Like I've said to you, we do have a business plan in place, but going to a government institution asking for fundings, you must have your own premises so that they can fund you. So, doing waste management and recycling while you don't have a premises is difficult part, because now you have to have the premises for you to have the equipment so that we can operate those waste, because now you need to shred it, you need to bale it, and then that's when you can take to the end user. So that's why I'm saying I'm still stuck in it's just that fella, only the premises. If I can have the premises, then the wheel will turn on my side.
Tell me something.
And the other thing,
Tell me something on the premises. Which area are you at? Which province are you in?
I'm in Northwest, in Klerksdorp.
In Northwest.
Klerksdorp.
Okay, Krugersdorp.
No, Klerksdorp, Matlosana. Come again?
Which municipality is your municipality?
Matlosana municipality, or Dr. KK.
Or Dr. KK. Have you considered them?
Yes, several times I went to them. And for the premises, they keep on saying they don't have the spaces for the premises actually to offer to the SMMEs. That's what they say.
No. You're not going there to ask them for premises for SMMEs. So the work that you are doing forms part of the basic service, which is waste management by the municipality, is the core business of the municipality.
Yes.
The municipality is supposed to have a recycling area where even the municipality, other trucks and stuff, take the waste from people and then put it in.
Yes, the municipality, they're taking waste from the community and they dump it in the landfill site.
Yeah, landfill site.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be established to have the recycling processes that you do.
That's true.
So if I was going to the municipality, Crescenda, I will not be asking them for a space to work. I will be saying to them, I would like to partner with you to establish a site that will produce or that will process the stuff that they are putting on the landfill?
Yes, I was still coming to that point, Auspicious. I did approach municipality about that fact, actually. So there's nobody in municipality wanted to take the responsibility. I even met with the MMC, asking them,
Risk?
and MMC was
They are not
supposed
willing to take a risk. Hang on. They're not willing
No,
to
not-
take a risk.
not risk, responsibility.
Responsibility. Okay.
Yes.
Were you asking for responsibility, or were you asking for next to the land refill for a space, use of a space?
There is already the space there. There was a company that failed to operate that landfill site. So I want to approach municipality in concerning that can I be on assistant to start doing the operation on the landfill site, which I know that there is a weighing bridge that has been built that site. There is a warehouse that has been built that site, and there is a truck and everything that those SMME and the cooperative, they were bought from the government. So they fight, it's almost more than 10 years now. So I approached municipalities several times. I went to Dr. KK, I went to Matlosana, and then nobody wanted to come out because now those assets, so-called asset, is still belongs to those previous people. So nobody want to take responsibility to end up coming with a conclusion or solution. How can we work together with this?
Okay, this does not make sense. So I am trying to figure out what responsibility is the municipality or the people that are supposed to make a decision are running away from. Which responsibility is it? Is it because there's still assets in that area, or were you intending to use those assets because you need to assess the risk or the responsibility they're talking about and separate that?
Okay. When I approached municipality, my aim was I am not going to use their asset, like for an example, truck or machine, but the warehouse, because it's been built by municipality, it's standing like a white elephant. I would like to use that a warehouse because now it's close to the landfill site. People that they're recycling on that site, I could be on help buying from them. You get my
But
point?
their reason, what was their reason to say no?
Okay, there are reasons. When I went to ELD, which is a local development
Yeah, just I know what
organization.
but what did they say?
They said they've got nothing to say because now that project was given to one of the guy by the name of Mvulane, and then now the municipality, they didn't yet take it from. The only people that they can be able to assist in that is the people from SIFA, because they are the one that they fund those people. So the municipality people, they don't have any say on that.
Okay, I think you're one, either I do not get you sometimes, which I think sometimes I don't get you, but I also think you within the story, we tend to maybe get too close to the story and not pull out of the story. So what I mean by pulling out of the story, when the municipality said, one, you need to establish that land, who does it belong to? It's more likely that land belongs to the municipality. You then ask the municipality, I want to see the lease agreement of that land. And that lease agreement of that land will tell you which entity and who are the directors of the people that are on the lease. You will then go to those individuals that are on the lease agreement so that they can sublease the place to you. That is one option. But if then the municipality is saying, we have nothing to do with the place, the place we gave it away, there was no lease agreement, then you need to ask yourself, do I either go to the funder or do I go to the people that got funded to actually figure out a way for me to use the place? If I get to a standstill where maybe they say they can't track them, they don't know, I will then go back to the municipality. The chances are is that they have ownership because it's closer to the land site. Usually land site is restriction use. In that you can then say, here is what I've done to try to track these individuals. I couldn't find them. I've looked even at CPIC in terms of companies and registrars. I can't find these people. Can we make an arrangement that I will use the land only until someone come and claim it from me? Or claim it from me? Because that then reduces the risk on anyone, because you will have done some attempt. However, I also think you're gonna need to stand out of it and also find your counselor, your counselor to be the one who's fighting this with you within the municipality structures. Because when you're just an entrepreneur on the street who has no voice, you're only just talking as one person. But when you then come with a council, the councillor has a constituency. You could also consider actually running a campaign of making sure that you get this by getting signatures or doing something, but partner with someone, including partnering with NGOs. But I think you gotta need to step out of it. Don't worry about the stories they are giving you. You see, people who don't want to work, who don't want to take responsibility, they will always find a story. You should be that person, Chrysanda, that doesn't care about what's the story. As long as the story is use the land, use the property for your business. And that's the story you should be hearing.
You know, I even met with I know the people, exactly the people that they've got a lease in that. I even met with one of the guy. Is this politician pastor? So actually what he wants is the people that they're willing to put their hands, but they don't want to sweat. He actually proposed that I must work for them, doing the work for them, and then they must just receive. I must work for them, they give me salary. You can imagine. You imagine.
You see, Christian, from that day, you should have actually, as you're sitting with them saying that, record that, because that's corruption.
Yes, because they don't want to partner. They don't want to partner. Even if you say, okay, let's partner, they don't want to partner. They just
don't want to work. They just want a windfall, money that is just coming through without work. But you then need to solve it. You see, every local authority has different leaders. We are in a country where there's different parties within the municipality. You raise the issue even in council, and you report the issue on the opposition parties. You send through your proposal, but you never actually wait and sit and do nothing. You keep on pushing it. So my suggestion is, you've already know which political party, because you know those individuals. Then go to the opposition, tell your story, and focus on your story, not on their story.
And
then,
because I even went extra mile going to meet with one of the president of a business chamber, trying to see if they can help.
But business chambers don't have they don't have political structures. So it's useless to go to a business. They don't have a political leverage. You go to the opposition, you also get involved within your municipality when it comes to economic development, and also even on projects. So there's supposed to be an IDP. Take that IDP, review it, and see where the opportunities. Just take ownership and destiny, and take 100% responsibility for your destiny. But what I'm trying to also to say, while you are doing this, you balance it out by really forcing their hand. You see, these days it's very nice and easy. You can sell your stories also, share your story through the media. to
Okay.
get your project on or on the radar, to get the look. It's almost like you're mobilizing the community that you're in, because the project like yours is actually a good project for a short term and a long term. Short term jobs, long term environment, long term sustainability
Exactly.
income. So you should actually, literally be that lady which they know, is that lady a waste management? She's back. Why? Because the challenge we have in our country, we have had people who are in position only for them to receive. Because people like you and me, who are hardworking, who actually work, who want to do work, then they're not given opportunities to work. And that's the problem. You could also even, that is why you're gonna need to consider finding an NPO which maybe focus on youth development or youth. But even the chamber that you have, you can work with the chamber, but just to get them to sign a campaign or a voting of some sort on certain things. But you're gonna need to know how the municipality work and make resolutions. And that takes a while, because it's almost like a full-time job on its own. But if you don't have resources, this is the only way for you to make it work. Then make it your mission. Remember, in life, we are given challenges, Crescenda, we're given challenges to overcome. When we fail to overcome those challenges, we then will be taking away our dividends of the reward. When we give up, when we start saying, okay, this is what they said, not what else can I do? We don't, each time when they say, I can't do this, your question should be, what do you think I should do? Since you're saying I can't do this, what do you think I should do? I promise you, each time when you're discussing with any of them that you have discussed, if you also ask them, what can I do? You will figure out a way, but you will also hold them accountable to what they have told you. And there is nothing, the reason why our country is where it is now, we have people that we have failed to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and their deeds. We have failed to make sure that when things are not right, we then take it upon ourselves to say, if then they have not made it right, I will make it right. Not just for myself, but for everyone who will go through something similar to this.
Yeah.
And Crescenda, this pain you have, or this challenge you have, they might even kill you for it. But be prepared for whatever your goal is leading you to. That is what I mean when I say you must sacrifice yourself for the sake of the goal, for the sake of the outcome that you want. Because if you're not willing to sacrifice it, you will not get it.
That's true.
And I think you have a leverage because you come, and you don't need to be adequate in it. You don't need to have higher skills. You don't need, all you need, you just need persistent, and you just need to hold them accountable. But you can't hold someone accountable on something that you are not in it. For example, you can't hold your councillor accountable when you don't even understand how the council work. You can't hold the municipality when you don't even know who owns that land. You can't hold them accountable, that politicians saying that you must come and work for them when they are not doing anything with the current. Talking to SIFA might help also, but you can't talk to SIFA without having certain information also.
From municipality, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so it's really about you empower yourself with information, and in each step, whoever that you meet with, you keep a mini little diary. I spoke to so and so on this date. I asked them this, they gave me this, they responded this. I asked them, you're okay, you are saying no. Okay, if you were me, what will you do? And what would be the next step? How would I do that? Da, da, da. Just ask as someone who doesn't know what the heck they're doing. But when you ask, you ask where you're going. You ask where you want to lead. And also, don't bring the story of the other guy. Not unless it comes out from their discussion. Maybe they say to the respond, no, you should speak to so and so, whom maybe is the person you've already spoken to. Then you say, no, I've already spoken to, so that this was their response.
Yeah.
What do you think then? Only then, but don't bring the stories of the others to the discussion. Only just for as neutral as possible.
Yeah.
But you gotta need to work on it. It might be your fight of your life, and that might not mean one day you'll have your own management. Maybe the challenge God has put in front of you is a challenge for you to overcome, so that there is no one in your municipality area can actually go through what you have gone through. Maybe that is the purpose, because remember, we don't know. We are guided by the challenges we face. And the more we conquer those challenges, the more we succeed on the things, the more we get closer to the purpose that God has called us to be, or to the creator that has called us to be.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
And entrepreneurs, I'm sorry I've taken long with Chrysanda, is because I had already knew certain 8 things, because we had spent some few hours together 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
The last question that I want to ask you, actually, it's the finance, the assignment that we're supposed to do last time. Actually, we were supposed to do the, what do you call?
You're supposed to do a budget and the HR.
Budget, yes, using our financial statement, the previous one. So I get stuck because now the previous one, it was so big amount. Now currently I'm nothing. I don't have nothing. So I was struggling.
My suggestion is that bring your business plan, because you already got a business plan. Use a business plan and analyze your business plan and share that with me. Let me analyze it with you.
Oh, okay. No, I'll do so.
Great.
Thank you.
Kia, hi. Sure, Chrysanda. Kia, hi.
Hi, Sister, how are you?
Yeah, feeling Jan.
I'm all right, thank you.
Good.
Okay, yeah, thank you for letting me in. Actually, I was driving on my way from the traffic department. But then now I'm just looking for a place to park so that I can.
No problem. Get yourself sorted. You're gonna come back to me. I'm gonna start with Pilate and Tuli and Boydu on the coaching, since I've already started with Chrysanda. Great.
Okay, no problem. I just need 2 minutes. Thanks.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Pilate. Are you ready, Pilate?
Yes, Precious, I'm not sure whether I'm ready. Because your question is a difficult one.
I know. I'm getting it. That is why I'm a coach, right? Because remember, the coach is outside of the game. And they see things not the way you see them as you are playing.
Yes, that is who I am.
Okay, lovely to meet you. Lovely.
And people normally call me Moyo.
Indeed. So Moyo, this is what I think when we are struggling with being a shareholder, being a director, being a worker, it really boils down to us not understanding where do we make the most of the value? Where do we create the biggest value in the business. So, and I'm gonna take a different approach also into it. So I know my biggest value in my business is one is in training, me conducting the training. That's the
Okay.
only thing that I do in my business, which I only have outsourced it to 2 CAs. And those CAs, they also run trainings the way I have taught them. But I only give them that role if maybe I have a board meeting that pays more than my rate for running the training. So which means for me to have selected training, I must know what am I good at. Which I know I'm the best at. No one else can do it better than me in my business. That thing. Number 2,
Mhm.
I also have converted it into number of hours and times rate per hour. So I know how much it costs me to run the training program for that hour. And in that running that training per hour, I can compare that cost versus the opportunity cost of me attending a meeting, which a meeting mostly will pay me between 25 to 35 per meeting. Then I can then say, you know what, I will call another CA to come and actually run the training. Now
Okay.
I'm making decisions that I know because I will make more money when I'm in a board meeting. So what I am saying, the difficulty that we find ourselves as entrepreneurs changing or being a director, shareholder, and being a worker, we have not identified where we add most the value. So if you were to look at your business, identify the areas that you cannot delegate, because that is where you get the most value. So for me, the value is not just on money, it's also on the reward. I love teaching. So I also get a fulfilling reward. So it's got both financially, but it also what? Fulfilling. Now,
Okay.
when I ask you who you are, it really resides mainly on that fulfillment. Who do you think you are in this environment? How do you define yourself? When you see your tombstone, what do you think is written right now based on what you have destined yourself or that you have been doing? For me, I've always known I was a teacher. I somehow knew it from my core. My grandmother, my grandfather, they were teachers. My father is a teacher. My aunt is a teacher. I come from a home of teachers. I've always known I was a teacher. Yabo, ngathi ngiyingane sidlala umasicose. I will always be a teacher makudlala umasicose. Those who know umasicose, I guess the Goonies will know. Moyo, you will know that.
Yeah.
That's makudlala umasicose. I was a teacher or a mother. I was a teacher or a mother. When we were playing amagende, which is just playing stones, I was counting the stone. No one, I'm an accountant. I was auditing basically. So
Okay.
you see, one of the things I had requested you guys to work on was to say, do Dr. DeMartini's values. Dr. DeMartini's values is a set of 13 questionnaires. These 13 questionnaires basically are aimed to provide with the idea of where is your interest lie? What do you value the most? Because when you find what you value the most, you then take that back and say, oh, my value is in this. So let me tell you a story about Dr. DeMartini's value system.
Yeah.
I did it. I'm sure I will also share the link if I can find. So Dr. DeMartini, when I did the exercise at Dr. DeMartini, this series of questions, there are several things like, what do you surround yourself with? And I list, and it will say, give me three answers, and then you write 3 answers. The other question maybe will say, when you are resting, what do you do? Then you write the answers. But by the time you get to the 13th question, you start seeing the pattern. From that pattern, you then do the top 7. So what transpired on mine when I did Dr. DeMartini's value system? What I surround myself is books. What I surround myself is learning. What I surround myself that I like is watching stories, documentaries. But when you look at all the things that I do, even in my spare time, it was clear that the intention why I was doing those things is because I'm always someone who wants to learn. I'm always someone who wants to grow. But when all of questions were done, it resided to 3 things. Precious is reads, Precious learns, teaches, and basically I'm a sucker for information. I'm a sucker for solutions. But then I started taking that and transmitting it to my family, to my role that I play in the society. I started noticing that even when I'm in the boardroom, I am teaching. When I'm in the boardroom, I'm sharing my experience. I'm sharing my understanding of the situation. It's still a way of teaching. Even when I'm with my kids, I am teaching because I'm a mother to them. And even when I'm with my friends, I'm always guiding them. So, and then it was very clear, the purpose why I'm here on earth, I'm supposed to teach. I'm supposed to bring light, and such, therefore, if I look for opportunity, I should always look for opportunity that allow me to do that, to teach, provide light, provide insight. And the insight sometimes may not be the obvious thing. It can also be insight into the level of consciousness. So, and that is me. That is my role. That is how I have refined my purpose. It didn't come easily. It came over time. But in addition to that, it got refined by me doing different exercises, different places. There's also passion testing, and it got refined over time until I was comfortable in understanding who I am. When I knew who I am, I then look for opportunities that allow me to flourish in that environment, that allow me to be able to step into that purpose. And Moyo, I am asking you to really look at your life and say, what do I want to be in my tombstone? In my tombstone, it will say a teacher. In my tombstone, it will say a person who was trying to raise a level of consciousness so that we don't just see the things the way they are, but see them in their true form.
Yeah, but Precious, it's difficult because I believe our purpose changes as we grow, as we become exposed to different situations, different environments, you see.
So you see, I don't believe your purpose change. I believe the purpose remains the same. What changes are the roles. The purpose does not change. The situation will keep on changing, but the purpose will not change. What changes are the roles. The roles are gonna change. The roles will change, but you will still remain the same person that God has destined you to. If the challenge that you face in your life are so big that are changing your course, it means we have not approached the challenges the correct way, because the correct way of dealing with challenges is, one, we welcome the challenge, right? And say, bring it on. And we then understand that that challenge that has been brought into our lives was meant to change who we are. It meant to change who we are so that we can be better in fulfilling the purpose. The purpose was designed for us before we're even in existence. And that purpose does not change over a period of time until we have fulfilled it. The reason why sometimes it feels as though our cause is changing is because the challenges, we keep on molding ourselves as human beings to, we're almost like a water. So the water keep on hitting the stone until the stone start having a hold. Whereas we should actually be having that water coming through, but the water has to go the other side, because we shall be what? Still be standing no matter what.
No, Precious, you were supposed to be a psychologist.
I actually did psychology, by the way. That's what I said in the other class, that being an auditor has actually not helped me at all, because I somehow do not understand how human beings work. So when my kids are giving me stories and they're like, I really wish I went to a psychology class, you know. But Baba, Moya, what I'm sharing with you is the lessons that I have learned. Some of them is the lessons that I am still learning, but is the insight of what you have given me. I think the light was already there of what needs to change, how it needs to change. But what I'm realigning you is to say, what you need to be has already been destined before you were even born. You were born in this moment for a specific reason, to fulfill that purpose. And it's only you who can fulfill that purpose. And as you are living your life, you should not let the circumstances change that purpose. Instead, you should change yourself so that you are ready for that purpose that God has destined you for. And that is what you need to work on. Now, in your business, you take that and say, I know who I am. I know what I'm destined for. God is going to help me to build up the opportunities that are going to give me the reward and the value. But you also have to value that contribution you're going to make. Because if you don't value the contribution that you are making in the whole universe, you don't value that purpose, the market will eat you alive. And I mean, I'm not going to go to detail. I've already shared that with you guys on say, when you don't value yourself and your contribution you're making, the market also does not value. Therefore, you're not going to claim what you're worth. You then need to ask yourself, if this is who I am, what business do I then need to build? What business model will that fit my purpose and my reason for existence? And in keeping that, it allows you then to build a business where you are fulfilled. You will then build a business where you don't have, you are not anxious about things. You then build a business that talks to what you believe in. And you then also don't juggle time, because you always know what is it that God had asked you to. What is it that you were asked to actually come? And you will then start also saying, okay, this I outsource, this I keep in house, this I do this. And then you start building. And guys, we do not build from things we don't have. We build from the things we have, from the resources that we have. We should build from our own strength, the strength of our personality, the strength also of our resources and our network. And that is how we will build businesses that last. Babu Moyo,
Awuyezwakala.
Guys,
Yezwakala.
I hope even
Hold on,
for
please.
those who are not attending, that are just watching just this, please take every aspect of what I've discussed and peel it into layers and ask yourself, how does this apply to me? Am I in the right business? Why do I keep on touching and living and touching? Why do I find myself, I don't have a direction, I don't have a focus? What is it that I should be focusing on? Why am I focusing on that? And why does that matter to me? Babumoy, ngiyabonga.
Hayi, ngiyakuzwa.
Thank you.
Ngiyabonga.
Boy, I'm back to you, doll.
Yeah,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You sound a bit down now. I think you have taken too much.
No, no. I actually had to move because there's load shedding. So the generator's making a lot of noise.
On the background.
Yeah.
Do you have a headphone? Do you have a headphone?
Yeah, I'm on headphones now.
Okay, good. No, then it should be fine. So I want you to dig deeper, Boitu. The area of feeling you the one who have to have your touch, you feeling this being perfectionist, especially in your environment of creatives and your work that you do, it is artistic. So where did it start? And how is it serving you? Or how has it served you? And how it has not served you? The reason why I'm asking that, even though I'm not expecting so much as a response, because it's the work that you still need to work on, is the fact that when we find ourselves being perfectionist, it also has to do with not trusting. But you are working on building up systems for your team so that you can, over time, relinquish some of the responsibilities so that they can then take over, right?
Yes.
So what I want you to work on is to identify in yourself, when did this thing of perfectionist came and how does it serve you? But how does it also not serve you? Now, I also want you, each time when you have done something that you do in your business, that it was done by you, you take a picture of it. You ask your team members to do it first. You do the QC, right? Your quality control. Uyenze wena as the last person. This means I am saying, let them do the work. Let them do even what they will have done. Let them do up to their capacity. Now, ready cake. When you then look at it and say, no, it's not ready. Here are the things that you need to do on it. Over a period of time, you will see your team members will even do a better job than you. But you're gonna need to allow them. You're gonna need to allow them so that your energy and their energy goes in and filter and get to a point where it just fits in. You started with this of delegating and stuff. You are still young. Your business is still young. They will never do it the way you want because they don't have the same vision you have. But by you taking the pictures and sharing the pictures with them when you have finished it, before and after, will help them to start distinguishing where are they missing it. And over a period of time, if they are listening, if they really are the right people in your business, they will start matching your energy and also your creative approach. Give them time. Give yourself time to teach them. And I know as entrepreneurs, we get frustrated. Just think about the child. How many times does a child fall when they are walking? They're learning to walk. And that's the same, that same human being. You can't say to that human being, you can't decorate a cake. So just give it that. So from now on, you are not gonna decorate the cake until your team member has decorated the cake. When are you gonna do the touch? They might mess it up, don't worry. You can always redo it.
Yeah.
But it's better to do that because now you show them before and after, before and after. Now, the mistakes you have made, I think it's probably the third time or not the fourth time you have admitted to this mistake, that you finally got that the costing was not wrong. Accept that. That's past gone. And be fine with that. Let it go. Now, the business model that you have adopted, I love it. You now understand that the principle of business is making money daily. But at the same time, you also got a clientele where you're serving a specific function, you're serving a special niche because it's cake celebration. That is wonderful. Now you're gonna need to identify the products that make the most money, that are easier to make, that don't need you as wood to be there in the factory. That's what you need to identify. You need to start asking yourself, what is selling well? And start making sure that never runs out. And when it runs out, you have a system of selling it to others within a short space of time, because the nature of the product that you do is also perishable.
Yeah.
I've already spoken to you about opportunities, how you're gonna go about that. I also want you to evaluate if you have capacity. I don't think you've assessed whether you have capacity or not. I think you need to do that.
I did. I have done that actually prior. So remember when I said we used to work from home? So from home, it was limited fridge space. It was limited oven.
No. I'm talking
So
about
when we
the
moved-
current. I'm talking about the current place.
Yes, yes. So when we moved in here, they had ovens, but it's medium size. It's nothing big. It's a medium-sized oven, but the fridge is big and the freezer is also big. The
Boy,
space is huge. Yes,
wait. Whatever data that you've just given me is meaningless. Let me tell you or show you what I mean when I say establish capacity.
Okay,
Get your notebook.
I'm here.
1, 2, how many ovens do I have? This
Okay, I have-
oven, how many trays does it cook?
Oh,
And how long does it cook each of these? Capacity. My shift runs from this point to this point. How many cakes then do I make during this period?
oh, okay.
That is what I mean by capacity. I have 5 staff. Do I know what they're doing every day, every hour, every minute? Do each employee has a roster of which cake they worked on or which production they worked on the oven? Have I scheduled my production? Do I know in my scheduled production if there's a space or no space? That's what I mean.
Yes.
Do you understand why you need to know that?
Yeah, I think I do have an idea, especially I just never systematized it like you're doing. So I know the oven, we can do so much scones in it at a go. I know we can do so many biscuits at a go. I know we
But
can
I
do so many
need it
cakes at a go.
within the
Yes.
shift. I
Within
need
the
it within the
shift, yes.
shift. I
Yeah.
also need it within the week. I also need it within the month, because that gives me your production capacity. So that when you go out there to market, you know where the gap is. You are not going to say, I'm gonna go and market and say to the restaurant, it's scones, and only come back and find out actually the scones, they take the longest. And or maybe they take a lot of capacity, but there's no return, because that production line should also be prioritized based on the return on investment, the profitability. That is why you choose first which products and services make the most money. And those should be prioritized on your production line. Okay. Let's talk about your financial statements. You call them management accounts. My dearest, that is not management accounts. That is a draft financial statement or monthly financial statements. Management accounts means I have a goal that I have set, right? In this goal, I have actions and activities that I'm doing in my business. And these actions and activities, I have worked out KPIs on what will I measure. And these things that I'm gonna measure, I am monitoring them daily, weekly, monthly. And that is management accounts. So what are your goals? Maybe you said, Sis Precious, my goals is to have a revenue. How much is your revenue?
700,000.
How much?
700,000 per annum.
700,000 per annum, right? You take the 700 per annum, you break it down to monthly. You then also break it down to weekly, and then you break it down to daily. But to do this, you have to know, in this revenue, which product am I going to be selling? And why? Why that product? And the why is profit. I get the most profit on that product. And two, it's easy to make. And my team are excellent in it. We have mastered that recipe. We can do it in our sleep. You then replicate that, and then you move on, say, how much does that mean per day? How much does that mean per week? How much does that mean per month? Then you convert that per month to be annual. How many number of days? You see, the capacity I was talking about talks to how many days are we gonna work? Take into account holidays, people getting sick. Because it now talks to your capacity. Okay, I've taken out days. Now I need to convert those days to hours that are productive. Okay, great. If these are the hours that are productive, great. I now need to ask myself about the machines and the stuff that I'm using to build this up. Now I've worked out the schedule. Okay, my production capacity, because you're gonna find yourself, maybe your production capacity is not gonna be able to cover the 700,000. Maybe your production capacity is a 2 million business. So which means if you find that in your capacity, actually I should not be making 700,000 per year, I should be making 2 million. You then say, okay, I need to go and market then. I need to go and market. because there's a gap between the production versus the revenues that I've set up as a target.
Now that you're saying that, Sister, let me just come in, because when I've done some of the breakdowns per product and how much would it mean per day, how much we're making per day out of each and every product, and how much will that look like in a week, in a month. I've started doing that. So now, when I was doing this, I realized that actually the premix is profitable, and the premix is the one that will not require a lot of work and doesn't even require me or any of my hands in it for it to move. And we can do quite a lot in one day with the capacity that we currently have. So it's a new product, but I already see the potential of it doing more. But I'm still like, okay, it's not marketed yet, but should it be marketed? The profit is good, and it doesn't need a lot of, it's not labor intensive. So when we've mixed our 20 liter, we just package it in 1 kg.
Relate again, you're getting
Yeah.
to processes and the things that your
Okay.
story around it. You have already identified something that is less effort, less resources. Then
But it's new.
take that and say, okay, if we were to make a premix, let me go to my capacity. How many premix can we do? How much of it can we make? What's our maximum capacity on just premix? And from that converts that then to be the number of premix we sell. Then look at the current demand and the trend. How many premixes are we getting requests on? And push and ask yourself, okay, should I push then for focusing on selling the premix? I like the premix because you can freeze it.
Yes.
So you can then start asking yourself, okay, let me get my kitchen to be accredited so that I can sell the premix into the mainstream. Or I can sell the premix to the restaurants that have ovens, because there are restaurants that have ovens that also like to bake and have a smell of food within the restaurant. That's okay too. So, but I'm saying we have identified the product that you think low cost, low effort, great, wonderful. But now related to the capacity, how much capacity do you have? Because uPick and Pay, I also let it premix. How many can you bring?
Yeah.
So is any retailer. So you're gonna need to know what, okay, I've picked up that premise is the best, then what's my capacity? How am I gonna deal with that? What's the demand telling me? Maybe you're already exceeding your capacity, but you keep juggling things. You're selling things that they're not making you profit.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that's enough homework for you. And it also means I need you to go back, identify for each of your processes, what are your key performance indicators?
Okay. So for each process,
yeah, for each process,
what are the
each
KPIs?
goal, even for each goal, identify what will you measure and how will you measure that? And come back to me with better financial statements, with better management accounts. I want to see on daily basis, what are the things that your team tell you when you're not at home? I mean, at the office. I want you to see what do they summarize for you at the end of the week, end of the day, end of the month. And I want to see that translating to your management accounts. Truly, my dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still here?
I am here. I am learning. I am taking notes as you go along, because I think what you've just said now in covering, in speaking to Boitumelo is important also for what I'm trying to do, because you're talking about then having the goals and measuring them and having KPIs linked to that. But I have a question just before you carry on, because you spoke about what the gap is between the production and the targets. And back to my original statement that I had is, if I need to raise funds, I know what my targets are and I know what is required. Is that the money that I need to go out there and ask based on the projections? Is that the correct assumption, or is it that then plus a certain contingency percentage or something?
Okay, so first of all, I can't answer yes or no yet, because I think there is few gaps within what you are building that you still need to fill.
Correct. And I do have the answers to your question, because I've sort of made the calculation on the number of months and the amount on average spent. And from a marketing need perspective, I do have that in my projections.
So now, one, when you raise capital, you need to have a clarity. What exactly are you gonna be paying for? In your case, stop with the stories, just focus on, there's a I want 100 rand, excuse me, 100 rand, and 60% of it will go to this, that 40% of it will go to this. That's what I need you to have a clarity on.
Okay, so I've got that also, because
Perfect.
I do have that.
What you then need to actually ask yourself, the amount that I have calculated on development and marketing cost, did I have probabilities on it? Obviously, the money relating to development, it's more likely that that will be equity.
Correct.
Therefore, what you should be saying, I want a funder who can choose whether they're gonna go with as an equity or they're gonna go as a short-term funder. A short-term funder will fund the marketing, but the long-term is what? Development. In the development, you also need to have an answer. How much equity are you willing to give? I don't know, I can't answer that. You have to answer that, because you should know how far are you to the perfect product or to the perfect product to launch. But also you should stay away from launching a product that is almost ready to the market. You should always launch a product that is not ready and do a soft launch. Get the market to experience the product. Let the market tell you what you need to panel beat, what you need to work on.
Okay. I'm with you, because in that case, my approach was actually to avoid going into costs for the full product, but then it was not doing it internally. I outsourced it. So I get your point, because then I think you spoke about it also earlier, having the product map.
Let the market tell you the product. When I come with the idea, you've already got an idea, it's a solid idea. Take it to the market.
Okay.
Start working on it. Like literally, truly, even if it's phase, even if it's just one site where you're collecting data of beauticians, just start building up something within this. You see, when you go to the investor and say, we have a soft launch, we've already collected this number of beauticians, we've already have this number of suppliers, we've already as a fund, even whether equity or short term, I already see the business moving.
So that's done, Precious, because I think that is where I'm stuck, because I have collected the data on both sides.
Okay.
But there's still more on the marketing, because what I find strange, especially with the investors, when they want traction, it differs, because especially the ones locally, their traction is how much money are you making? Whereas when you speak to the US investors, they are actually asking for exactly that as traction. Do you have an MVP? And do you have people that have indicated and signed up? So
Okay.
which is
Then your approach needs to start. Then we need to look at your business model, because you should then, if you've already got the database, why then are you not selling the product to that market?
That's the funding that I need now for marketing, and I think that's what you now articulated about the short term.
No, you don't need funding for the marketing. You just need time. Do you have time?
I have time. Yes.
If you have time,
Mhm.
you have to do the marketing yourself. You don't need to pay people. Guys, you cannot wait for the best campaign. You have to start with the little that you have. So start, you've already got the database, then enroll people to use your app.
Which is happening, but the pace, that's the problem.
What do you mean the pace?
It's very slow if I have to engage.
But even if it's slow, being slow or not slow is not influenced by marketing, is influenced by how you're selling that to them.
True. Mm.
That is not going to change even if you throw money into it. You're going to need to use that data to help you understand your conversion rate. Compare that conversion rate to your industry competitors. You have to compare that conversion rate so that it allows you to see what efforts do you need to put in to convert your clients. You just need to go out there and sell.
Yeah, I hear you. I
know it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound
and especially to me, where I normally, I don't know, I just normally think I'm not a good salesperson. That's just me.
The approach into selling is a poverty mindset outlook on it. We are not selling things. We are solving a problem.
Mm.
You are solving a problem for beauticians to be able to actually run and manage their mini businesses within a platform that allows them to see how much money they are making and also help them to make more money through using products that are good, that are actually not always paying. On a cash. Your problem, it can't be about you. When the problem is about you, then you need to go to the mirror and look at that ego and get rid of it. What you were meant to do has to transcend you as Utul. Go beyond Utul. And you must be willing to sacrifice all that you are that has led you to this point for you to get bigger reward, bigger things that you are destined to get. But that's not going to come when you're still having certain fears, when you still have safeguards, when you still have certain mindset about what you're doing. The purpose and the cause is bigger. And when you make the purpose and the cause bigger than you, you're no longer going to wake up for yourself and your children. you're gonna wake up for the whole lot more. And because those individuals are gonna be with you in their spirit, in their struggles, they will also be thinking of you as they are pulling through. And they would work with you to build the business.
Thank you very much, because I think you are reaffirming some of the engagements that I've had with some of them. And I think, you know, because of the other things that I'm doing, I sometimes then don't have time to go back to them and follow up and see where they are. But when I have those initial engagements, it's usually actually where it's a person-to-person engagement, and they see the need, and I
time. You don't have time because you don't see a value in what you're doing. The value that you see is on the app. That is where you see the value. Let me say this, my dear. There's millions, if not billions, of apps created out there.
True.
No users, no attraction. Having an app means nothing if it doesn't have subscribers. Has no value whatsoever. Actually, Google keeps on moving it to the lowest point on each time you search it.
No, that is very true. That is
until
very
it's
true.
in last page of 100. Guess what? Who's gonna find you on page 100?
No, and strange enough, because I think you also said it about knowing yourself. And the reason, by the way, I left my job to do this is because I love engaging with people. I love talking to people. I like seeing the light on people's faces when they see the benefit of what I'm sharing with them. So that is my passion, for me to see people seeing it succeed for them. And
so convert that passion to be a purpose. Because you see, passion doesn't generally last, but purpose does.
Does, yeah.
And start also waking up, not just for you, waking up for them. That is going to increase your accountability. The promises that you are making to them will increase accountability for you to see this through. As for focus, you need to get your head right. You need to get yourself straight.
There's too many things that I like, needing one person's attention.
The same thing that I was talking to Ubabu Moy, you need to ask yourself, who the heck am I?
Yeah. No, that part I'm clear, and why I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm very clear about that.
And you should then focus on only that and not touch anything. You need to learn to say no.
Okay.
Learn to say no to yourself, because we are our worst enemy.
True.
Daily reflect.
Thank you very much.
Which things I say yes to. Was I supposed to say no? Was I supposed to say yes? Don't be afraid to say to someone, you know what? Thank you for the opportunity. Let me think about it. I'll come back in 24 hours. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. No, thank you, I think, for your wise words, because it is exactly that. And I think I just needed that reminder and that motivation. And back to the drawing board. Thank you.
I shall hold you more accountable next time. I need progress. The progress you have made has been very slow as compared to, in this group, as compared to Boitu. The progress has been very slow. One of the reasons your progress is very slow, you are not putting more time into this to make it work. Instead, in your mind, you're thinking it's about funding. No, my dear, it's not about funding.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine. It shall happen. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lots of love. Babu Moyo, Gibongile.
Thank you, Siyabonga.
Sis Boitumelo, where are you? Let me see your face. How? Hey, guys,
Oh,
I'll meet you
Sister,
on the
you want to see
I
us when
will
we are
order you.
naked?
Just your face, Sis Tuli. You know, we'll pass each other, and you will say, "I'm Tuli," and I will say, "Who?"
I'll go chasing you.
You will actually not believe it because I will see you. I'm seeing people as I meet them, because there are people that I've been seeing on Zoom for forever. But when I see them in person, I'm like, I know you.
I know you from somewhere.
Thank you so much. Lots of love, guys. Go and work. I need a revised management accounts. Truly, I need a clear clarity on the action plan for the next 3-4 weeks, and I will hold you accountable, and I will make sure I call you and follow up with you. Babu Moyo.
Okay, Sister, sorry, before you close up, the management accounts we actually get, they're sponsored by the incubator, so the accountants do that for us. So meaning them, I must add more to what they give us.
No.
So they must be
Meaning
added.
you have to design the KPIs for yourself in your operation. They are doing it at the organization level.
Oh, okay.
They are not doing it at the operation. How are you gonna know if your team member has put in their hours, their productive hours? How are you gonna know that the ovens are actually being used in full capacity or not? They don't know that. They don't run your business. That is what me and you have to work on.
Okay. Got it.
Good.
I got it.
Bye. Good.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.